What up, 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 what up? What's good, people? What is up? What is They went from the fourth level of hell and sent us down to the seventh level of hell. Why? Because then you got Kwanzaa pulling out her titties. The whore pulled out her titties. And these whore bags over here started feeling and fondling on her tits. Mike.
I don't have it to do with you. Girl, you can go over there, rant and rave. Girl, you can shake all your rainbow bright hair all you want, dear one. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this with you, dear one. I'm not doing this with you, dear one. I don't have nothing to do with you, and I'm done. Baby, you can scream my name from the rooftops from now till Jesus come back. I'm done after this.
Introduced to Tick's Meat. Do you see what I see? Did y'all really hello, casting, wardrobe, y'all let him roll up out of wardrobe with these fans on, giving us all of this, thinking we were not going to see it? We have been waiting with bated breath and anticipating all season long for the slightest glimpse, and y'all just put it out there this episode in all of its magnificent glory.
Listen, that young man said, baby, you ate on this first date, you giving up the cooch on the first date, okay? Or you gonna run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. That's our new theme song. That is the new song. Listen, somebody need to put a beat to that. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. That's what y'all got going on.
Called out Sandcastle. Sand, bitch. Ow. Oh my God, it was so funny, girl. Ooh, baby, listen, let me tell you something. This shit started to turn into the precursor for some gay porn. That's what I thought it was. Because Big T is getting all, the voice starting to go deeper and get a little more wet and moist and sentimental and all this shit. And it was real gay at this point. Like, I thought the bitches was going to start. I thought Lil Bird was going to turn Big T around and do him like he did Uncle Cliff and do the grease it up with City Lou and ran right in there. It's not a coincidence that Big T started off the conversation by trying to find out if Lil Murder was fucking Mercedes, which he found out he's not. It's also not a coincidence that he would start talking about prison. Why? Because the bitches was probably up in prison. Girl. Uncle Clifford, you better go get your man. Big T got plans for that. Well, he had on look like something Big Bird vomited up or something like that. Like, I did not like it. That Big Bird couture he was going for, it did not work. Like the pastor of a gay mega church on Easter Sunday. Okay, it was way too much sequins. He had on way too much makeup. Baby, his face looked like Iyanla Vanzant's neckline. Okay, just way too much makeup clumped in everywhere on his face. Get it together, sweetheart. Like, you're a big girl, so that gives you a whole lot of canvas. So that was a whole lot of makeup, honey. And Rico looked like he was auditioning to be one of the Three Kings, or he was auditioning to be the main character on Jesus Christ Superstar. Girl, Wayne, did you have on a blue thong or a blue G-string or something? If you did, I want to see. Can I see? Get me up in my DMs, and I do want to see if you have a blue thong or a blue jock strap or something like that. I'd love to see it too. Anyway, but I liked it with the turtleneck. Now, Troy. Hello, people. Hello. How the hell are you? Why are these people sending me, dear God? Hold on, y'all. Looking at my emails and messages. Listen, if you send me an email after 4:30, it's not getting answered to tomorrow. Get over it. Get over it. Okay? Get over it. All right. Let me shut this bitch down for somebody else try to send me a message. I don't have time for whatever y'all got going on. The day is over. It's done. It's done. Hello, people. How art thou? How is everyone today? I hope that your Monday has been beautiful. Mine, as you can see, they tried to extend. It's over. Anyway, welcome to Run Your Mouth. I am L Teddy 27. And I am here to give you the breakdown of today's news and headlines like only we can over here. I trust and hope that all of you, those who didn't make it on with us yesterday, you enjoyed your Sunday. And happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers that were celebrating yesterday. We had a great time yesterday on Silly Sunday that we did a Mother's Day edition of Silly Saturday, and we infused a little Sexy Sunday in there as well. So if you missed it, go back and watch. We had a great time. Great time was had by all. But we're ready to get started with this week's worth of news. The news cycle never ends. There's always something going on. So we'll update you as we always do. Let me say hello to y'all. Hey, Universal Goddess, how you doing today, sweetheart? Beautiful. Cams, how are you? Cams, tomorrow when we do red, blue, and black, remind me we need to break down um this whole there's a lot going on with this whole Air Force One luxury jet situation from Qatar. We need to break that down. So remind me that's something we need to break down, as well as that the tax bill that the Republicans unsheathed today. So we'll do all of that tomorrow. I just wanted to let Cams know that, as we're, starting to get ready for red, blue, and black tomorrow. Hey, DPG, what's going on, sweetheart? Hey, crazy homebody girl, how are you, beautiful? Well, look at here. Hey, Paul. How you doing today, Paul? It's good to see you, Paul. Hey, Rosanda Hendrick, how you doing today? Are you if you are new here, let us know because we love welcoming new people. But either way, whether you're new or just falling out of the bushes or out of the clouds, we're glad to have you. Y'all show Rosanda a good time and let her know y'all that we're glad to have her here. We're also simulcasting on Twitch as we have been. So if you're coming over from our Twitch simulcast, welcome in. Hey, Simera, how you doing today? We're glad to see you. I feel like I ain't seen you in a few days, so I'm glad to see you today. Hey, Ravine, how are you, Ravine? You all right? Hey, Uncle Jay, with the chest out, as always. How you doing? Hey, Yana, only 9 more instructional days left. Listen, that's all you got is 9 days left. Well, listen, you're at the final home stretch at this point. There's light at the end of the tunnel. You got this, okay? You got this. Hey, Liz, go. I know it's late over there. What time is it over there? It's after 10 o'clock over there, Liz, go. I know you're gonna be here for a few minutes and then it's time for bed. We'll be here. I know you always watch the replay, so I ain't even worried, Liz, go. We glad to have you here before you go to bed. Montrez, what's good, bruh? What is up? Let me ask you a question, Montrez. Montrez, do you go back and listen to the songs that we do on This Day of Music, like some of the songs that you don't know? Do you actually go back and listen to them? I feel like you do, but I just need confirmation that you go back and listen to some of our recommendations from This Day of Music on Silly Saturday. Hey, Precious Jewel, how you doing today, beautiful? Glad to see you. Glad to have you here. Hey, Candace F. Ciao. I'm going to discuss a little bit of that today. DPG, we'll be discussing a little bit of that today. Oh, you've been traveling, Simera? Okay. You going on vacation in a few days? Well, where you going? If you don't mind us telling you, if you don't mind telling us some of the songs I have going back to. Okay. Child. Some of them old years, I know you need to catch up on some of them songs from them from decades ago. But there's some great songs there, some great songs. Some great songs. All right, y'all. If y'all make sure y'all press the like button. YouTube ain't gonna do us no favors around these parts. They don't really care for us down to the YouTube. Okay. So you going to Hawaii? Okay, big money. I see you. Hey, big spender. I have never been to Hawaii, so at one of these good old days, I'm gonna make my way around there. Anyway, y'all go ahead and please hit the like button because, like I said, YouTube ain't gonna do us no favors. They don't care about us over here. They don't do us no good favors. So I need y'all to go ahead and help push us into said algorithm. Okay, make sure you're sharing the video out. Hey, Pinky Tiki. Make sure you're sharing the video out. Make sure you're doing all of the things and all of that good stuff. I think I did put it in the members only chat. Let me check. Yes, I did put it in the members only chat. So, If you're ready to go ahead and get this party started, go ahead and put a shondo in the chat and let me know that you're ready to get this party started. Even if you ain't ready, I'm ready. Okay. Yeah. Um. Oh, you been to Hawaii too, DPG? So everybody done been to Hawaii except me. I'm gonna get out there one day. I'm gonna get out there one of these good days. Do they got good Hawaiian trade out there? Is there some nice Hawaiian trade out there? Just asking. Anyway, it's time to get this party started. Ladies and gentlemen, non-binary gender conforming members of our audience, I bring to you the late great Larry Myers to help us usher in our Sugar Spike segment.
Oh, God. You see, this is the part that I like.
Major sugar spike.
So loved the world. I want to fight. That he gave. His only begotten son.
Major sugar spike.
And shall ever believe.
Major sugar spike.
They shall not perish, but have everlasting life.
Taste the biscuit.
Jesus. Listen, I can't wait to go either, Paul. It sounds like they be having a good time out there. I need to go see what it's all about. Anyway, so we start today off with an executive order that your president, Donald John, signed earlier today, draped by the human fan, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and that clown over there with the blonde hair, Mehmet Oz. You know, they're just clowns. Anyway, let me give you the rundown on this. Let me read this information that I found, and so I can give you the rundown on this. The White House is unveiling an aggressive drug pricing strategy targeting pharmaceutical companies, promising to dramatically cut prescription drug costs for American consumers. Donald Trump condemned the current pricing system as a quote redistribution end of quote that has allowed drug makers to exploit U.S. patients, and signed an executive order that he says will lead to matching lower drug prices abroad. Quote, we are subsidizing others' health care where they paid a small fraction of what we pay. And the quote the president said in a press conference on this morning, flanked by Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services Administrator Mehmet Oz. Quote, even though the United States is home to only 4% of the world's population, pharmaceutical companies make more than 2/3 of their profits in America. That's not a good thing, end of quote, said your occupant of the White House. Writing earlier on Truth Social, the president said the plan would reduce prescription drug and pharmaceutical prices in the U.S., quote, almost immediately, end of quote, by 30 to 80%. Examples Trump pointed to included how a single breast cancer drug costs $16,000 in the U.S., but just $1,600 in Australia, and how the weight loss drug Ozempic costs 10 times more in the U.S. than in other developed countries. Quote, we're no longer paying 10 times more than another country, end of quote, he said. The policy plan, dubbed, quote, most favored nation, end of quote, would force pharmaceutical companies to match the lowest global price, in effect ending what Trump describes as systematic overcharging. The new order aims to level the global pharmaceutical playing field, with Trump suggesting that quote, Europe's going to have to pay a little bit more, end of quote, while Americans will pay a lot less. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. also backed the plan from the podium, saying that this is a policy that American progressives should get behind. Quote, I have a couple of kids who are Democrats or big Bernie Sanders fans. And when I told them this was going to happen, they had tears in their eyes. They thought this is never going to happen in our lifetime. End of quote, he said. During the final months of his term, the Trump administration sought to push through a most favored nation plan, which would which would have tied reimbursements for 50 drugs by Medicare to the lowest prices paid by certain other countries. A federal judge blocked the effort after ruling that the administration had failed to give the public a chance to comment in violation of federal law. The Biden administration later rescinded the proposal under pressure from hospitals and drug companies. Put a pin in that. President Trump's order will likely draw strong opposition from the pharmaceuticals industries, which has argued that it would result in Medicare patients losing access to vital care. Shares in European and Asian drug markets fell sharply today in early trading, but Europe recovered some ground by market close. In the UK, AstraZeneca shares ended the day 0.3% higher, while GSK was up 1.6%. Shares in U.S. drug makers were up amid broad gains on Wall Street, which was boosted by signs of easing trade tensions between U.S. and China. We'll get to that in a second. But health policy experts support the plan. One drug maker executive told news agencies that the plan was the biggest quote existential threat to the industry and U.S. biosciences innovation. Now, a health policy expert argued that drug companies should be forced to match the prices they give other countries. However, they doubt the proposal will withstand the fresh legal challenges likely to arise. The U.S. paid 2.7 times more for all drugs in 2022 than other wealthy developed democracies, and 2.2 times more for brand name medications. And that's according to the Rand Corporation. Let me cut to the chase here. Let me read this last part and then I'll cut to the chase. Peer countries pay less for drugs because they negotiate directly with drug companies because they provide their citizens with universal health coverage. They can act as gatekeepers, and that gives them leverage. Pharmaceutical companies have long defended high U.S. prices as necessary for research and development. Trump dismissed this argument on Monday, calling it a long running con. Quote, they did one of the greatest jobs in history for their company, convincing people this was a fair system. End of quote. Now, let me say this about this executive order, and I'm glad that we're going through this. I see a couple of y'all came through while I was reading. Hey, Sharice. Hey, Xavier. Um, who else came in? Hey, Symmetry. Now, hey, Karen D. What's a lie? What's a lie? Now, hey, Savon. Now, I'm I feel a little differently about this one. There are a whole lot of problems that this young man has started and then tried to act like he fixed it, right? Hey, Jason. He often does that. He'll create a problem, let that problem cause death and damnation, then come back and rescind said problem and act like he fixed the problem. I cannot put this at the feet of Donald John because the problem with the pharmaceuticals industry is not something that was started by Donald John. This has been a problem in our country for a long, long time. You know, they say that even a broken clock is right at least twice a day. While I definitely agree something needs to be done um, about the price of prescription drugs, I must also take note, occupant Trump, that just a couple weeks ago, you rescinded a Biden policy that put a cap on the price of insulin. You also rescinded a Biden policy that put a cap on out-of-pocket expenses to health insurance companies. Now we're gonna put that on the side because health insurance companies and pharma companies are two separate entities, although they're in bed together. Okay, health payers and health insurance companies, they have been raking us over the coals, just like um the pharma companies. Now let's be clear. Pharma companies, hey Morgan, um he signed this executive order. There's not going to be any real teeth into this until we get an actual bill that makes it through Congress. Now, here's the problem. Big Pharma is in the pockets of both sides of the aisle. Big Pharma, just like APAC, done lined the pockets of Republican politicians and Democratic politicians alike. And the likelihood of a bill making it through Congress that actually puts some teeth into requiring these pharmaceutical companies to offer us the same drug prices as what's offered across the water, I don't see it happening. I do not see that happening. I really do not see that happening. There are more lobbyists for big pharma and the pharmaceutical companies than there are for any other industry. I mean, and that's by far. By far. I'm just saying. Now, if they can pull this off, it would be great. But like I said, the pharma companies got a lot of money. And please be clear, they have all of the full brunt of their legal teams that have already filed briefs and lawsuits against the Trump administration. The very same Trump administration who most of Big Pharma put money behind to make sure that he got into the White House. Now, I'm sure they are civil law. Listen, civil law, this this is the first of all, I think the man is senile, let's be clear. But this shows you that the man does not have a coherent thought. Anybody who who believes that he's in their corner at a certain point realizes that he's not here for them at all. At all. Now, on its merits, this is not a bad thing. Let's be clear. This is not a bad thing because what he said about the bulk, and I think he's even being more conservative with those numbers. The bulk of the profits that pharmaceutical companies make, it comes from America. Let's be clear. Pharma companies want to be in the United States because they know they can rake us across the coals in terms of cost. Now, hey, Miss True Kelly, like the article said, this comes because we're the only wealthy nation that does not have universal health care. We're the only stupid nation that can't find a way with the trillions of dollars in our GDP, with us being the wealthiest nation on earth, can't find a way to manage to give our people universal health care. And that is why the pharma companies do what they do. See, when the pharma companies go to other wealthy nations that you have universal health care, they have to go and negotiate with the federal government, because the federal government is the one in charge with that universal health care system. So they have to go in with their tail stuck between their legs. But over here, there's no such animal. Like Xavier said, well, it's a whole free market over here. We're living in a capitalist society. It's a dog eat dog world. That bull sitting outside of Wall Street didn't get there for no reason. You cannot have it both ways, Mr. Trump. Occupant Trump, you cannot have it both ways. You can't in one breath talk about, oh, we're going to force them to lower prices, but then in the next breath, tell health payers, yeah, we're not going to put any caps on deductibles. Yeah, we're going to rescind bills and laws that allowed there to be caps on certain medications. And then now you want to act like you care about the cap. Let's be clear. Big pharma is a coming. And big pharma is a coming. And when big pharma comes, now you're going to see the Republican Party bend the knee to back to big pharma, because although their god king is Donald John, their god king is not the one lining their coffers. Donald John ain't giving these Republican lawmakers no money. Big pharma damn show is. And when big pharma says, hey bitch, I don't know what the fuck y'all thought this was, but we gave you whores money. And what you whores are gonna do is y'all gonna go straight Bohica. Bend over, here it comes again. Because y'all gonna take this. They're gonna go over there to the judiciary branch, who also quietly takes money from big pharma. Let's be clear. Listen, they have the full force of their legal teams right now, with legal briefs scattered all over the fruited plains. They are not going to take this lightly. They are not going to sit back and let you tell them that we get to charge the same thing other wealthy nations get to charge. No, they're not going to do that. You think they're going to give up upwards of about 75 to 80% of their profits? Really? Right. Now, I also agree when they say they lied and said Big Pharma was lying when they said they needed these higher prices in the US for R&D, research and development. We knew that was a lie. That was all a lie. But they've been lying to us for a long time. And both sides of the aisle have been complicit in what Big Pharma has done. Both sides, Democratic and Republican side, have been complicit and have gone along with Big Pharma raking us across the coals. But y'all want this capitalist society. Y'all want these free markets. But y'all can't have y'all cake and eat it too. Listen. AstraZeneca, Eli Lilly, GSK, all of these big pharma companies, they're not here for this fuck shit. Moderna, all of these people, they are not here for this. Hey, Lock Queen. They're not going to listen. They are not going to be a part of any of this. Mind you, they're going to try to put, even if this did try to pass, what Big Pharma is going to do is they're going to put pressure on the US government by stopping and halting R&D. Now, R&D is research and development, and that's how they come up with a lot of the drugs and pharmaceuticals that we need for various diseases. And although a lot of biotechs and biopharmas do a lot of R&D, they don't have the money that big pharma has. And right now, biotechs are not doing well. Biotechs are taking a hit all over the place because they're afraid of the impending pharmaceutical tariffs. They're also not doing well because of the stock market. The stock market affects biotechs first, and when biotechs get affected, R&D gets affected, and that affects new drugs coming into the market. Because what big pharma does is they wait for the biotechs to do all of the research, do all of the preclinicals and clinical trials, and just before they get regulatory approval, they buy out the biotechs and they get the patents and they put it out and make all of the money, and then that's when they rake us across the coals. Right, civil law. All of the biotechs are holding out. They're not spending no money because they're afraid of what's going on right now. I hate it. I don't got real deep into the pharma market and pharmaceutical talk, but I'm telling y'all, it's rough in these streets, and I just don't see this going. I don't see this happening. I really do not see this happening. We'll monitor the situation. In other news, now the Trump administration is claiming victory, saying that the trade war with China may indeed be over. They're saying that the trade war with China may indeed be over. Hold on for a moment, y'all. My computer just had a whole meltdown. Hold on. What just happened to my computer, y'all? Sorry, y'all. Sorry, y'all. Hold on. I'm sorry, y'all. My whole computer just I still got y'all up, but this is not good. Now, the Trump administration is taking claim for a victory in the trade war with China. However, however, people are saying, yeah, it sounds good up front, but it ain't all this. This is not a win. What this is a capitulation to China. Okay, that's what they're saying. Is this is the Donald John realizing um that this ain't gonna work out. Now, the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said today that he expects to continue trade negotiations with Chinese officials after meeting in Geneva, though he offered no timeline beyond the 90-day pause on reciprocal tariffs that was hashed out over the weekend. Now, they did negotiate, according to them, that each country would pause their one would rescind 115% of their tariffs that they have on one another, leaving the U.S. at 30% tariffs and China at 10% tariffs. Treasury Secretary Bessent is saying, quote, "We got a lot done over 2 days. So I would imagine in the next few weeks, we will be meeting again to get rolling on a more fulsome agreement." The pause is only for 90 days. The can is just getting kicked down the road, okay? Now, Treasury Secretary Bessent and other officials from both countries huddled at the neutral location in Geneva over the weekend to discuss a way forward following President Trump's sweeping tariffs overhaul in April and weeks of escalation and tension. The Treasury Secretary, whom Trump designated as point person on this discussion, described the U.S. China trade talks as, quote, always respectful, end of quote, and noted that they established a meeting mechanism for future discussions. Now, President Trump's agreement with China to temporarily slash those tariffs for 90 days did offer the world a bit of welcome relief to the stock markets. But what persists, according to experts, is a sense of uncertainty and the possibility that the damage from the trade war could already be done. Now, now Trump declared the de-escalation of the trade war a victory, saying he would soon chat with Chinese President Xi Jinping about how to preserve the financial relationship between the world's two largest economies. Regardless, the tariffs are now elevated from when Trump took office, and the scramble to respond to the White House's mix of threats and olive branches might leave CEOs, investors, and consumers uneasy and unwilling to take risks. The people, this is not a way to this is not a way to make people feel safe about the stock market. This is not a way to ease tensions. What happened was every economist told you we were at the cusp of a fucking recession. And you, people, hey, Spicy Original, hey, Brittany Janae, and you finally listened to some of those experts around you that told you, hey, bruh, you got to come up off this because you're sending us over a cliff. And so what you did was you sent people that were a little more level-headed and could talk sensibly over there because they knew had you been anywhere in the vicinity, if you had been even in the same seaboard as Geneva, all bets would have been off. Okay. Now, like I said, nothing cemented now. They have an agreement to a 90-day pause, but who knows what your president is going to wake up tomorrow and say? Who the fuck knows what side of the bed occupant Trump is going to wake up on and blather about tomorrow morning and say some dumb shit, and only for China to say, see, this is the fuck shit we're talking about. You people never negotiate in good faith. And even the few times that you try to negotiate in good faith, your boss, your God King, goes over, gets on a microphone or on Truth Social and ruins all of that. This is stupid. Right, listen. If they got 90 days, listen. What's 90 days from now? Somebody do the math. Hold on. Let me see what 90 days from now is. 90 days, that puts us in what? August. So that's somewhere around August 11th or 12th. Somewhere around there. Yeah, let's just say August 11th or 12th. Y'all, August 10th, thank you, Cams. Y'all have until August 10th to get your life in order. Do whatever you have to do. Order whatever you got, whatever orders you need to make, you have from now. And like I said, I would do it sooner than later because we don't know what occupant Trump will do between now and then to fuck some shit up, only for President Xi Jinping to say, oh, I'm not with this fuck shit. Shit, that shit could go back up tomorrow. I'm just telling you how this is, what's happening. Please, y'all, please govern yourselves accordingly. We cannot trust these people to do anything right. Govern yourselves accordingly. Well, This is happening. This is happening. Are we still all about this? Are we still all about this whole this ain't our fight. This ain't got nothing to do with us. We on vacation. We still sitting down on the couch. We still on vacation. We still checked out. We still on our this ain't our fight. We ain't got nothing to do with this. Well, here we are. The first group of white South Africans granted refugee status by Donald John have arrived in the US, stirring controversy in South Africa as the US president declared the Afrikaners victims of a genocide. Really? The Afrikaners, a minority descended from mainly Dutch colonists, were met at Dulles International Airport outside Washington, D.C., by U.S. Deputy Secretary of State Christopher Landau and Deputy Secretary of Homeland Security Troy Edgar, with many given U.S. flags to wave. At Dulles Airport, Landau told the assembled white South Africans, quote, "It is such an honor for us to receive you here today. It makes me so happy to see you with our flags in your hands. My own father was born in Europe and had to leave his country when Hitler came in. We respect what you have had to deal with these last few years. We're sending a clear message that the United States really rejects the egregious persecution of people on the basis of race in South Africa." End of quote. On the same day the group arrived in the US, occupant Trump's government also ended legal protections that had temporarily protected Afghans from deportation, citing an improved security situation in the country, which is ruled by the Taliban. One consideration for resettling Afrikaners, not Afghans, was that, quote, "they could be easily assimilated into our country," end of quote. Mr. Landau told, Deputy Secretary Landau told reporters at the airport. Let me say that again. He said the consideration for resettling Afrikaners and not Afghans was that, quote, "they can be easily assimilated into our country," end of quote. They're just coming right out and saying the loud part out loud, the quiet part out loud. They white, they can assimilate in our white ass country, and we don't want the others. I'm just saying. What do you want from me? What do you want from me? What do you want from me? I don't know what y'all want from me. The man has basically he ran on the premise of this being a country where we're going to keep all of the immigrants out and it's America first. Now, and you were deporting people both legally here and illegally here because you didn't want nobody here. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, meanwhile, back at the ranch, y'all letting white South Africans come over here. Think that has anything to do with Elon Musk? It just asking. Y'all think it has anything to do with Elon Musk? Hold on for a moment. My computer is still doing the most. My computer is still doing the most, y'all. I apologize. Now, you should this it gets better. It gets better. Okay. So not only are they allowed in this country, not only are they immediately given what is going on with my computer, y'all? Jeez, I'm sorry, y'all. My computer is doing a whole lot. Okay. Not only are these people being allowed in this country, not only are they given expedited refugee status and given legal papers to come over here, they are also being given government assistance. Oh yes, prepaid cell phones, SNAP benefits. They get access. They get access to uh, thousands of dollars in government assistance immediately as soon as they come over. As soon as they come over. So these white Africans, white South Africans, immediately are given all of these. It's not seen as a handout, right? It's not seen as, them them not pulling themselves up by the bootstraps, right? All the while they're cutting SNAP benefits for US citizens who've been paying taxes their whole lives. I just want to make sure that we on the same page. But like y'all say, nothing to see here. This is not our fight. We don't care. They could strip us of all of our benefits and all of our taxpayer government funding. Take it. We're fine with that. This is not our fight. Give it to the white South Africans who have earned nothing, have not paid a dime in taxes over here. It's okay. It's not our fight. Here we are. Here we are. Hey, lovely 31 Blueprint. Hey, Errol. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. Hey, Lady D. Oh, yeah, they met them at the airport. Listen, Julio and Juan, they're Julio, Raul, Juan, Enrique, they don't get none of that. But these white Africans, they immediately have expedited access to becoming legal immigrants. Prepaid phones, SNAP benefits, they get housing vouchers. All of this is being given to them. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. The Dutch. Here we are. In some more news, in more sugar spiky news. Well, let's see what they do with this. The deadly and drug resistant fungus Candida auris is under close surveillance as health experts work to calm its spread. Candida auris, also known as C. auris, was first identified in the US less than 10 years ago. Since then, the number of cases have increased every year. In 2025, new cases of Candida auris are about on track with the same time with this same time last year, according to data reported by the CDC. However, some states are seeing far more cases than other. Of the 1,052 cases reported to the CDC so far in 2025, about a quarter are in the great state of Texas. Texas has had 241 cases of Candida auris as late as of late April. And that's according to available data from the CDC, because we know the CDC isn't giving us all of the available data. Other states seeing the fungus in large numbers include Michigan with 185, Ohio with 125, Virginia with 99, Arizona with 98, Colorado, Delaware, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Louisiana, Maryland, Montana, New Mexico, Pennsylvania, Utah, and Wisconsin have also all reported new cases this year. The CDC has considered the fungus, quote, an urgent antimicrobial resistant threat, end of quote, because it has developed ways to defeat the drugs that are designed to kill it. When antifungal medications aren't effective, the fungus can spread more easily and infections can be hard or even impossible to treat. People with a healthy immune system may be able to fight off infection on their own, but Candida auris mainly spreads in healthcare settings. Let me say that again. Candida auris mainly spreads in healthcare settings where people are sick and vulnerable. People with catheters, breathing tubes, feeding tubes, and PICC lines are at the highest risk because the pathogen can enter the body through these types of devices. The fungus can survive on surfaces like countertops, doorknobs, or even people's skin for a long time before spreading to vulnerable patients. Quote, it's really good at just being, generally speaking, in the environment. So if you have it on a patient's bed, for example, on the railing, and you go to wipe everything down, if in whatever way maybe a couple of pathogens didn't get cleared, then they're becoming resistant. And so over time, they can kind of grow and populate in that hospital environment. And that's a end of quote. And that's according to Melissa Nolan, an assistant professor of epidemiology and biostatistics at the University of South Carolina. They're killing us all. Now, according to the CDC, 30 to 60% of people with CRS infections have died. Let me say that again. 30 to 60% of the people who got the disease, got the infection, died. That's a large number. That's a huge number. But your HHS secretary is deleting all records about this. There's nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. They're deleting all of the records of this stuff. You don't have anything to worry about. Speaking of your HHS secretary, he and his grandchildren went to Rock Creek over in DC and took a good old dip in the pool, in the water. Despite long-standing warnings that high bacterial levels make the Potomac River tributary unsafe. He wrote on social media platform X, formerly Twitter, quote, Mother's Day hike in Dumbarton Oaks Park with Amaryllis, Bobby, Kick, and Jackson, and they swim with my grandchildren, Bobcat and Cassius, in Rock Creek, in the quote. Now, as you can see here, he was shirtless and at one point got fully submerged in the water. According to the National Park Service, quote, swimming and wading are not allowed due to high bacteria levels, end of quote. Swimming has been illegal in most of DC's waterways since the 1970s, largely because of contamination from the district's aging sewer water. Though there have been recent efforts to roll back the 5 decades prohibition, and it is rarely enforced. Several signs posted along Creek warn of the potential dangers, and the National Park Service advises pet owners to keep animals out of the water as well. I hope his body just starts to decompose from the inside out. This man is not going to be happy until we all sound like him, like we're permanently talking into a fan or something. My name is Robert Kennedy Jr., and I am your Health and Human Services Secretary. He's not going to be happy till we all. Them damn grandkids, when they go home and have violent projectile style diarrhea and violent projectile style vomiting at the same time, don't come over here talking to us. I don't even live in DC, and I know better than to go swimming down to the goddamn creek down in DC. Where my DMV people at? DMV people, are y'all going down there to take a good old swim in the creek down to the Rock Creek? I'm just saying, baby, I'm not going to go swim in the canal down the street. You damn sure ain't finna get me to go swim up in. No, God, no. I'm looking forward to the violent diarrhea that you and your grandchildren are about to be faced with. Looking forward to it. Am. Mm-hmm. I am. So listen, keep your kids away from this man. Please keep your kids away from this man. This man is dangerous. This man is dangerous. Crazy homebody girl says, hell no, we don't sleep in any of them streets. That's what I thought. Candace F says, absolutely not. DPG says, I never stop in Rock Creek Park. I zoom through faster than the speed of... Listen, these people are dangerous. These are your people. I ain't got nothing to do with it, y'all. These are your people, not mine. I give them all to y'all because I don't want nothing to do with these people. I'm just telling you what I know. I want nothing to do with these people. I'm just telling you, nothing. We got to move on. Trump officials are investigating state aid programs for people who legally migrated to the U.S., but that don't include the white people coming from South Africa, though. The Trump administration's Department of Homeland Security says it is opening an investigation to a state-funded California program that provides financial assistance to some people who legally migrated to the United States. Who legally migrated to the United States? Who legally migrated to the United States? As the White House continues pursuing a crackdown on immigration. For years, California's cash assistance program for immigrants, known as CAPI, has provided monthly cash assistance to elderly, blind, and disabled immigrants with legal status, a much needed lifeline for vulnerable permanent residents, refugees, people granted asylum, and others. Yet, in announcing its investigation today into the program, DHS accused the program of, quote, providing federal benefits, end of quote, to undocumented immigrants, echoing unproven claims circulating among the U.S.'s political right wing. The DHS statement said Homeland Security investigations had subpoenaed the Los Angeles County Department of Public Social Services, which runs the CAPI program. Homeland Security Investigations, an agency within the U.S.'s Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, is purportedly examining whether undocumented immigrants received federal supplemental security income SSI from the Social Security Administration beginning in January 2021 at the start of Joe Biden's presidency. However, California state officials have long maintained that their CAPI program is entirely state funded, providing services to elderly, blind, and disabled immigrants with legal status, including permanent residents. Additionally, immigrants in California who receive cash from the CAPI program are required to have been rejected from receiving SSI assistance in the first place. Secretary Kristi Noem nonetheless exalted the investigation as, quote, just the beginning, end of quote, saying it hews to an executive order from Trump in April that instructed various federal agencies to, quote, ensure ineligible immigrants are not receiving funds from Social Security Act programs, end of quote. These people are fucking morons. You cannot even get those funds. Hey, Chef Don, if you are getting SSI, the funds are completely funded by the California state budget. No federal funds are being used, but here we are. I don't need to tell y'all how stupid these people are. That is famed U.S. Representative Maxine Waters. Now, I should have covered this last week, Wednesday, but of course I was out of town. So just as an update, last week, Wednesday, during a committee meeting of the House Financial Services, there was a joint meeting between the House Financial Services and Agriculture committees focused on cryptocurrency policy that took place last Tuesday. However, Maxine Waters, who's been in Congress longer than Xavier has even been alive, knows all of the rules and policies within Congress and exercise said rule by doing this.
The subcommittee will come to order. I note that today's committee activity will be
Object to this joint hearing pursuant to the House rules. This joint hearing requires unanimous consent, and I do not consent.
You are recognized.
She stopped the show before it even got started. Did you see his bottom lip drop? Watch.
And I do not consent.
I understand your objection, or I understand that you've made it. I just want to get a better insight into what is the basis of your objection, so that if there's something that we can do to remove that problem, we can work in good faith to do so.
Object to this joint hearing because of the corruption of the President of the United States and his ownership of crypto and his oversight of all the agencies. I object.
I've been saying for how long that the Democrats need to find whatever mechanisms they have to stop these people from doing what they're doing to overthrow our government. Most things in these committees and even in on the House floor require unanimous consent. And all that needs to happen is one member of that committee or one representative say, I do not consent, and it doesn't go through. Joint hearings require unanimous consent, but the gathering proceeded as a round table, which is an informal activity under the rules of the House and therefore isn't subject to the same guidelines. Representative Waters says she objected because, quote, because of the corruption of the President of the United States and his ownership of crypto and his oversight of all the agencies, end of quote. Some financial services Democrats walked out following her objection, joining Representative Waters for a separate, quote, shadow hearing on Trump's crypto corruption, end of quote. Other members of the Democratic Party remained in the room to participate in the roundtable, highlighting divisions amongst Democrats over how to approach crypto regulations. Representative Angie Craig of the great state of Minnesota, the top Democrat on the Agricultural Committee, said the following: I am here, quote, I am here because I think we need to be engaged and part of the discussion to agree on the rules of the road as they relate to crypto. It is important and it's legitimate to call out the self-dealing of the Trump administration related to hawking meme coins from the White House. We have a responsibility to be here and be part of the solution. End of quote. Other pro crypto Democrats, including Representative Sam Liccardo of California, Don Davis of North Carolina, and Shamari Figures of Alabama. That's new Representative Shamari Figures that just got that new district in Alabama. They all stayed to probe witnesses about landmark digital assets legislation that Republicans unveiled as a draft Monday. Representative Liccardo raised concerns about President Donald Trump. House Financial Services Chair French Hill, Republican of Arkansas, said Waters, quote, Representative Waters, quote, has thrown partisanship into what has historically been a strong, good working bipartisan relationship, end of quote, between the Agricultural and Financial Services panel on crypto policy. Representative Waters was joined at her shadow hearing by Democratic Representatives Brad Sherman of California, Sean Casten of Illinois, Sylvia Garcia of Texas, Bill Foster of Illinois, and Stephen Lynch of Massachusetts, among others. Listen, the Democrats are their own worst enemies, because if these Democrats think that the Republicans want any parts of playing nice with them, these people are fooling themselves. And this whole, oh, we have to show decorum. Oh, we have to do the right thing even in the face of them doing the wrong thing. Oh, we have to be a part of this. They don't give a damn if you're a part of it or not. They're going to do what the fuck they want to do regardless of whether or not you play along with them. They don't give a damn. And the fact that they're not screaming from the rooftops that you have a president that is directly benefiting from cryptocurrency policies is beyond my level of comprehension. Here we are. As we delve out, delve out of the sugar spike segment and do a swan dive into further into the dossier. So it's being reported that Tory Lanez got stabbed. A representative for the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation confirmed that Tory Lanez was attacked by another prisoner in a housing unit at California Correctional Institute and Tehachapi around 7:20 this morning. Prison staff dashed to the scene and began administering first aid to Tory Lanez after calling 911. He was then rushed to a hospital off prison grounds to receive more treatment. The California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation spokesperson did not disclose Tory Lanez's current condition. Now, why and how he got stabbed, I don't know. But they said they threw him on the ambulance and rushed him to a hospital in Bakersfield, California. He was probably over there talking shit. And somebody got tired of his fuck shit. Look, anybody, are we crying for him? Anybody got thoughts and prayers for Tory? Like, any thoughts and I'm just trying to find out. Are there any thoughts and prayers out for Tory Lanez? Look at Jason. Look at Jason. Nobody has thoughts and prayers for Tory Lanez. Now Jason said Canadian ham was cut. Lovely 31 Blueprint said this is what you call fuck around and find out. And that's according to Lovely 31 Blueprint. And she's our nice pupil. She's the nice pupil. And even Lovely 31 Blueprint said this is what you call fuck around and find out. I don't have nothing. I don't know what to tell you, sir. Brittany Janae said go with God. She said go with God, Tory. I'm just trying to see if anybody has thoughts and prayers for him. Crazy Homebody Girl says she doesn't even have concepts of thoughts and prayers. Diamond Pearl Jim says, what's for dinner? That's what DPG said. DPG says, what we cutting for dinner? We got steak for dinner. Let me get this good steak knife. And hey, Aquarius, the only real sign. Green Girl, I don't know. Xavier says it could be an escape attempt as well. Baby, they don't even have concepts of thoughts and prayers for you, Tory Lanez. I don't know what to tell you, sir. Go with God. Girl, y'all ain't right. Woo, child. Girl. So today was the first day of testimony down to the Diddy trial. Let me give you your updates as I see them. Let me go back a little further on my live updates. Let's see here. Okay. So, where are we at? A witness named Mr. Flores said that when he responded to a call of a woman in distress on the 6th floor of a Los Angeles hotel in March of 2016, he came across Mr. Combs wearing only a towel and sitting on a chair, quote, slouched down like with a blank stare, like a devilish stare, just looking at me, end of quote. He said he noticed that the hotel's floor display was destroyed and told Mr. Combs it'll be charged to the room. As he escorted Cassie and Mr. Combs. This is about the videotape we all saw with Diddy assaulting Cassie. They showed that in the courthouse today. And then they had Mr. Flores coming. He was one of the witnesses. I believe he was either the first or second witness today. And this is what they're saying. Mr. Flores says as he escorted Cassie and Mr. Combs to their room, he said Cassie indicated she wanted to leave, and Mr. Combs told her, quote, "You're not going to leave," end of quote. And that's what Mr. Flores said. He also testified that Mr. Combs told him, quote, "If she wants to leave, she's going to leave," end of quote. He says that he told Mr. Combs, he told Diddy. Mr. Flores says he told Diddy, quote, "If she wants to leave, she's going to leave," end of quote. After Cassie left, Mr. Flores says he was getting ready to leave their room when Mr. Combs called him back. Mr. Flores said he was holding a stack of money with $100 bill on the top, telling him, quote, "Don't tell nobody," end of quote. Mr. Flores says he considered it a bribe and told him, quote, "I don't want your money. Just go back into your room," end of quote. Let's see what else we got. Now, Mr. Flores was the trial's first witness. Then we had the second witness. The second witness name was Daniel Phillip. He started talking about the allegations of sex parties. Mr. Phillips said he was a male stripper for women when he was called by Cassie to meet her and Mr. Combs at the Gramercy Park Hotel in New York in 2012. Mr. Phillip testified that Cassie first told him that she wanted to do something special for Mr. Combs and wanted to know if he minded rubbing baby oil on her and giving her a massage. He said he wore a red laced outfit with high heels and dark sunglasses, consistent with the way prosecutors have said Mr. Combs demanded that women dress for sexual encounters. He said that's what she wore. I'm sorry. He said she wore the red laced outfit with high heels and dark sunglasses, and said that was consistent with the way prosecutors have said Mr. Combs demanded that women dress for sexual encounters. Mr. Phillips said that he was paid a few $1,000s for the encounter in which Mr. Combs was wearing a white bathrobe and watching as Mr. Phillip had sex with Cassie. Mr. Phillip testified that Mr. Combs subsequently hired him on several occasions for a redo of the same experience. Encouraged by a prosecutor's questions, Mr. Phillip got increasingly graphic in descriptions for the jury of the encounters. Mr. Phillips testified that Mr. Combs insisted that he take a photograph of Mr. Phillips's driver's license. Mr. Phillips says he considered that a threat. Mr. Phillips then testified that his interactions with Cassie and Mr. Combs came to an end after seeing Mr. Combs become violent toward her one day. He said Cassie was sitting at her computer when Mr. Combs called to her from the bedroom. When she replied, uh, quote, hold a second, end of quote. He says Mr. Combs came out of the room. Quote, Mr. Combs walked over to Cassie, grabbed her by the hair, and started dragging her by her hair into the bedroom. End of quote. Mr. Phillip also said that he heard what sounded like Mr. Combs slapping her as she screamed and said, quote, I'm sorry, end of quote. Now, three of Diddy's daughters, including his twins, left the courtroom and waited in an alcove outside the courtroom as the testimony got real graphic. Now, they said that they showed the video from inside the hotel 4 times today. While this was going on, they said that Diddy blew a kiss to his mother and mouthed, quote, hi, mom, I love you, end of quote, as she sat down in the courtroom gallery for the start of the testimony. Mm-hmm. Now, they say that they first showed the video all the way through. Then they played it as the hotel's assistant security director at the time, Mr. Flores, Israel Flores, we talked about him, described what was happening. Prosecutors then played a different version of the footage that Mr. Flores recorded off of a monitor with his iPhone. Diddy's lawyer then showed it again as she sought to poke holes in Mr. Flores' recollections of the events. They show photos of the damage in the hallway at the hotel. The second witness, Mr. Phillip, he testified that Diddy would instruct him and Cassie on their sexual encounters, recalling that at one point the hip hop mogul told them, quote, you need to rub more baby oil on each other. You don't have enough on. End of quote. Y'all know he loves that baby oil. It's the baby oil. The baby oil. Child. Wait, what happened to Tracy? I wasn't looking at the chat. What happened to Tracy? All right, Tracy, we gonna pray for you. Tracy, get some rest. Take some meds if you need. Girl, we praying for you. Y'all sit up a prayer for Tracy. Hey, Opal. Um, I'm gonna do my best to give you these daily updates as I get them. I try not to go to the blogs. I try to go to credible sites. So this is coming from an actual news site, a credible news site. So this is where this update is coming from. On on direct questioning, Mr. Phillip, that's the second witness, that's the scripper. He's testified that he didn't ask for money during his encounters with Cassie, and sometimes he wasn't paid, saying, quote, "In my head, I was just excited I was in this world and happy to be involved with people of such notoriety," end of quote. On cross-examination, defense attorney Xavier Donaldson tried to attack Mr. Phillips' credibility, mocking the slogan of the male review show company Mr. Phillips worked for, and its slogan that it, quote, provided the ultimate ladies' night experience, end of quote. Mr. Phillip testified that when he got to the door of the New York hotel room the first time he met Cassie, she told him that his boss had told her that she had to give him $200 upon his arrival, and then, quote, and then she handed me $4,000, end of quote. They then say the trial ended around 5 o'clock, as it was supposed to. The jury was warned not to speak to anyone about the case and was sent home. The trial was to resume at 9:30 tomorrow morning. That's our updates. You had those two witnesses. Those are the only two witnesses that I got from today. Uh-huh. That's your update. Oh, and then there's this. Prosecutors said in their opening statement for Diddy's sex trial this morning, that he made an escort urinate in Cassie's mouth. Uh According to the prosecutors, Cassie initially consented to take part in the freak offs in order to make him happy, in order to make Diddy happy, but that they allegedly turned violent over time, with Diddy allegedly beating her if she left early or took too long in the restroom. And that's according to Assistant U.S. Attorney Emily Johnson in opening statements to the 12-member jury. According to her, he once instructed a male prostitute to urinate in Cassie's mouth, making Cassie feel as though she was choking. The prosecution reportedly claims that Diddy once threatened to, quote, destroy, end of quote, Cassie's career by making public a video of her having sex with dozens of male escorts. In response, Diddy's defense team stated that although their client has a violent past and a bad temper, they maintain that he is simply not guilty of sex trafficking. Now, they said that there are 8 men and 4 women on the jury. I just report on this stuff. I ain't got nothing to do with it, okay? I have nothing to do with Sean Combs and his sexual proclivities. And all we got today was uh opening statements and 2 witnesses. I ain't got nothing to do with it, y'all. I don't have anything to do with it. Those are your updates from today. I hope you all were not eating. I apologize. I have a sketch of. Hold on, Xavier. You need a picture. I do have a sketch of Mr. Phillip. Hold on. The court sketch artist. Let me see if I can get that for you, Xavier. Hold on for a moment. Hold on, Xavier. See if I can't get that for you. Here you go. All right, let me see if I can't get this uploaded. Hold on, Xavier. I got you. I got you. All right. There you go. There's the picture. That good enough for you, Xavier? Is that good enough for you, Xavier? Does that help? That's Mr. Phillip. Hope that helps. All right. Listen, that in other news, now that's a kangaroo encampment at a zoo. That is a kangaroo encampment at a zoo. Why am I bringing this up? Well, officials in South Carolina are investigating the death of a man who was believed to have been killed while fighting a kangaroo in an enclosure at a children's petting zoo. Eric Slate, 52, died of, quote, multiple blunt force injuries, end of quote, according to Tamara Willett, the chief deputy coroner of Horry County. Local officials said Mr. Slate, who's the brother of Five Star Farms owner Robert Slate, liked to enter the encounter containing kangaroos and wallabies and, quote, roughhouse, end of quote, with a kangaroo named Jack. Well, Mark Causey, a Horry Council member, told Newsweek that the animal was not euthanized and the inspectors would visit the farm this week to look at the enclosure and assess conditions at the zoo. A tribute posted to Facebook on Monday by Robert Slate featured a series of photographs of a man identified as his brother Eric Slate engaging with a kangaroo of almost the same height. In the captions to one of the pictures, he says, quote, "Your memory will live on, your voice will be heard, and Jack, your buddy the kangaroo, will be fine. My brother, my friend, my rock, you left us with a smile on your face that won't be forgotten," end of quote. Y'all better leave these animals alone. Y'all better leave these animals alone. Well, his brother owned the zoo, and he would go in there and they say roughhouse and play around with the kangaroo, and fucked around and found out because the kangaroo said, "Bruh, what the fuck you think this is? I'm not here for your fuck shit." And now he went on to the ancestral plains. I would tell you to go with God, sir, but you're already there. The human cockroach. Lil Wayne is in the news. So apparently, his longtime girlfriend, model Denise Bideau, has come forward with serious accusations of abuse, claiming that he was violent toward her during their relationship. The claims were made during an emotional Instagram live session just hours after he allegedly ended things with her via text message on Mother's Day. Quote, it's not just the emotional abuse. This man has actually laid a fucking hand on me, and I took it. And you know what's crazy is they always say we're so stupid for love, and I thought it was a mistake. But I know other women he's put his hands on, end of quote. Now, Denise Bedeau, who recently had surgery, revealed that he sent assistants to remove her from their shared home while she was still recovering. Quote, I can't even lift boxes. I can't even lift boxes, but this man has his assistants coming to help kick us out today and broke up with me on Mother's Day through text. And her birthday's next weekend, and I leave to New York this week for all the Sports Illustrated press. When I tell you that I am absolutely unsure on how to even process my emotions, I've been nothing but supportive to this man. I loved him till the end of the world, but like you literally flew me, uprooted me from New York City where I was living and brought me here for this bullshit. Like that's crazy, you guys. Like these men really be taking advantage. End of quote. She also accused Lil Wayne of flying in other women to replace her. In another clip, she made it clear she planned to confront him face to face. Quote, I'm going back to the house that we live in together with my fucking daughter, and we're going to see what really goes down because this is absolutely crazy and a new low, even for him. End of quote. Uh, any y'all have anything? I'm Whitney Houston at this point. At this point, I am Whitney Houston. I have nothing, nothing, nothing. Uh, Brittany Janae said, "Go with God, ma'am." That came from Brittany Janae. She said, "Go with God." I'm likely to probably say the same thing, and I'm not here to blame the victim. Okay. However, ma'am, I don't know. I mean, Lil Wayne has been the same all this time. Crazy homebody girl says she don't care. The 92% says they don't give a damn. The 92% I basically said go with God. In more news involving yet another past president of the IFFB, International Federation of Fuckboys. That's Cam Newton. Um Now Jasmine Brown, his fiance, revealed that she's expecting their second child, which happens to be his ninth. On Mother's Day, she posted a picture of herself holding her exposed baby bump. She wrote in the caption for the post, she wrote, quote, feeling all the love, kicks, and elbows. Cheers to our growing tribe. Hashtag happy Mother's Day. End of quote. I don't know. I don't know what y'all want from me. Yeah. I mean, now I forgot to mention that she's the mother of his first child that's 9 years old. Then he went and had a child in 2017, 2018, and 2019 by someone else. Then he had three more children. By someone. I, the man is. This is gonna be his ninth child. I I don't know what y'all want. I have nothing. I'm Whitney Houston. I have nothing. 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 Don't make me close one more door. I don't want to hurt anymore. Hey, Jay Parrish. Harold keeps saying, "Who are these people?" That's a good question, Harold. In our last story of the day, praise you, sweet 7 pound, 3 ounce baby. Jesus. Kenya Moore wants y'all to know all those reports of Kenya Moore Hair Spa being closed are not true. According to the U.S., not the U.S. Sun, but news outlets and the blogs over the weekend, she wants, even though it was being reported as late as yesterday that they had to shut that bitch down, she wants y'all to know that her hair spa is going strong. She wants y'all to know that it is open and servicing clients in the Atlanta area. Now, they do have a booking page on Style Seat if you need it. The spa is open Thursdays and Fridays from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. It offers a variety of hair services from silk presses, blowouts, and clip-ins to a head spa and sew-ins. Well, maybe they went to the place on one of the days it was closed. Baby, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going down there. I don't know if it's open, closed. I don't know. I ain't got nothing to do with it. Listen, now if you give me the address, Xavier, I might drive by and do a wellness check just to get some pricing. I'll go in there and say, I'd like to get some pricing so I can take my beautiful girlfriend here, pay for my beautiful girlfriend to come and get her hair done here. Just to do a wellness check, I don't know what you want from. I don't know. I literally have no earthly clue of what y'all want from me. Okay, it's open only 3 days. That's what I'm saying, Xavier. Like I figure, uh, like aren't most like I know a lot of barbershops and beauty parlors. They close on like Mondays, and I don't know. At least where I'm from, like arbitrarily, Monday is like a day that you expect the barbershop and the beauty salons to be closed for some reason. When I was growing up, I can remember like it was always just we close on Mondays, but they were open every other day to include Sunday. How she making money by being open only 3 days a week, baby? I can't call it. We'll see what we could do. A lovely 31 blueprint. Maybe if I can get the address, I might go by there. I don't even know where it's at. I don't know, Simir. I don't know what kind of business they're running. I ain't got nothing to do with it. I'm just saying. Mother's Day weekend should have been busy. You would think. You would think. Ch- Cindy Alex, baby, you're making way too much sense. And sometimes it doesn't make sense to make sense. Well, they said she got a booking page on Style Seat. I don't know. I hate them too. Those listen, I'm so glad my current barber does not have Style Seat and none of them stupid booking pages or whatever. I can call them up I can call that motherfucker and be like, listen, you got to open in today? And he gonna be like, yeah, come at this time. I'm gonna say that time not good for me. He gonna say, all right, come at this time. I'm gonna say, can you do this time to this time? He say, all right, come at this time, and then that's gonna work. That's the address. Let me see how far that is from me, Xavier. You know that if it's too far down south, I don't be going down south to frolic with those people. I do not be going down south to be with the others. It came right up too. Oh, it's not that far. It's only an 18-minute. I feel like I've been here before. I absolutely have been here before. I've been in this area, I should say. I can't say that I've been to her establishment, but I've been in this area. I'm trying to think what else is in that area that I've been to because I've seen all of this stuff in this. I know where this is. Mm, interesting. Interesting. Xavier, I might have to go by there. I might have to go by there. Come by here, my Lord. Come by here. Yeah, I might have to go by there. It says it's 17 minutes, which is not bad for this time of day. And I know where that area is, so I know it's let me see. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Oh wait. Okay. Uh-huh. That's real close. That's real close. Mm-hmm. I know where that's at. That ain't far from me, y'all. I'm gonna have to go over there. See what they talk about. No, we're not doing the good shake and go like Quentin. No, we won't be doing that. We won't be doing that. Maybe it's nice when you go inside. Now, what days they open? Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Okay. We about to get out of here, y'all. I'm about to send y'all over to Really Be, okay? Cause we tired. And I'm hungry. Listen, I've been slow cooking some beef stew. Um, that I've been making. I put the carrots in there. You put the carrots in there first. I put some carrots and some celery in there first. I put a few banana shallots to give it some of that that good onion taste in there. I let that slow cook for about 2.5, 3 hours. Then I put some small pieces of corn on the cob in there. I put them in there at about 3:45. Some small pieces of corn on the cob and some of the small little red potatoes. So right about now, she's good and right. She is good and right. Hmm. I'm gonna make her put her on a bed of rice, a bed of jasmine rice. We finna eat good, y'all. Anyway, as I always say, feel free to support the platform. We always look for people to support the platform. You can click that you go ahead and click that QR code and support the platform. As I always say, I love y'all, I love on y'all. Thank you all for being vocal, present, and active. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for any and all contributions that you make to the channel. They are much obliged and much appreciated. We'll be back here tomorrow with another edition of Run Your Mouth, as well as episode 28 of Red, Blue, and Black. Y'all stay right there. I will send y'all over to Really Be and let y'all see what she talking about today. All right. That's all I got for y'all. Until next time, thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. I'm out. Love y'all.